Hello, lovely Dylusionists. Oh, let me get that out of the way. There we go. Come into the studio. Actually, the studio at the moment is a packing studio because I'm wrapping presents. That's why I've got my little help. I'm helping Santa wrap the presents up. And I'm wrapping the presents up, and I thought I haven't done my tags yet. I haven't made my tags. Who's going to know what's on each present? So I'm going to do a quick little tutorial for you. So I've just made these tags. I've just actually made all these tags in about 50 minutes, I think, something like that. And I think I've got about 28, 30 in there. Very, very simple. We've got some shimmers, got some shimmer paint on there. Got a little word on the back with stamped. Really, really simple. When I make them, I usually make a lot at a time. I usually make about 25, 30 at a time. And then make a lot more, like a little production line. And I'm just going to teach you these. So I've decorated them with the Star Flurry stencil and the Jolly Holly stencil. Lots of shimmer paints, and I've used this year's Christmas collage for them. So enjoy. So you can make your tags, you know, just out of luggage tags. I like them a little bit wider for a tag. I have made some out there. So I like to take my number 12 tags, and I'm going to cut them in 3. I know that, sorry, looking for my pen, 3 1/4 inches. If I do 3 1/4 inches, make a mark. 3 1/4 inches, make a mark. 3 1/4 inches, it will just take this perfectly. So this is what I tend to do. Okay, so if we go this way, 3 1/4, 6 1/2, and then 9 is there, and we want 1/4, 3/4, sorry, there. Okay, so, and once you've done, once you've done one set, you can use this set as a marker for your next set. Okay. So you don't have to measure every one. You can cut this set. And then you can take one of these and you can use that as a marker for your next set. So then you would put that on there like that, and you would swizz it down, put it on again. Do you see what I mean? So that's just quicker to do. Or you could put them on your trimmer. I always forget about my trimmer. I'm a bit rubbish. And don't forget as well, it doesn't matter if they're not all the same size because they're all going on different presents. So it makes absolutely no difference what you put in them on. So I batch these. I make, I don't know, probably make about 40 at a time of these. It's entirely up to you. So one day I might do the stenciling, another day I might add the things on. Oh, look, one of those is a bit bigger. Just give that a try. You know, another day I'll do the gluing, another day, all like that. I just find it so much easier to do. The colours I use the most, I use my shimmers for background. So I've got here cut grass, but fresh lime is always really good as well. White linen, you can't go wrong. Postbox red, bubblegum pink, calypso teal, and balmy nights. So these are traditional. If you're going to do traditional, so for example, if you're going to use my last year's collage, these are great for that. These two, so that's cut grass, postbox red. These two, white linen, balmy nights, go with anything. And these two, if you're going to use this year's, oh, look, the label's upside down. If you're going to use this year's collage, these two work really well. I do a complete mix of all of them, okay? So white is always good. So I'm going to start with white, and I'm just going to use these two stencils. This one is the small Jolly Holly, and this one is the small Star Flurry, okay? And I usually do a few at a time. I usually do loads. I'm only going to do a few of each on here. So there's probably a bit more waste. I'm going to have to clean more than I normally would. But I would normally do tons of this stenciling white and then swap it to a different stenciling white, you know, and continue like that. So I've got some of the white shimmer, and I'm just going to go through one side of the stencil, okay, and then I'm going to spin it round, and I'm going to go through the other side of the stencil, okay, and you can see with the shimmer, it's just gorgeous. Do another one. I might as well do 3, and then I'll pick another colour and do, oops, the other 3. And then I just have all these ready in a pile for when I'm doing my presents. Oops. See, nothing hard. Done. I've smudged a bit there, but it won't matter. And then clean your stencil off. Because I've got the big lights, the studio lights on, I'm just going to dampen it. When I put my big overheads on for filming, it makes it very warm in here, so the paint dries quicker. Normally I would just rub all that off with this cloth. Okay, so I'm going to do the other 3 with the flurry, and I'm going to use Balmy Nights. So this is Jolly Holly. Okay. But you can see I had to clean that stencil after only doing 3, which to me, I don't like doing that. So I would normally do, I don't know, at least 6, 7. Oops, I spun it and it's gone off, but you can easily just pop it back on. Okay, and I always work production line. Always. And these are really simple tags. I mean, you can go to town and make really fancy tags, but you know, when you just need so many for the presents, I would rather just have some really cool simple tags on the presents than spend ages, because more often than not they're going to throw this tag away. I know that sounds terrible to you, but that's what people do, because people don't realise. So if you've not spent a ton of time on it like this, your heart is not going to break when they do that. Okay, you can see, look how quick the paint is drying because it's in my studio. Whenever I teach online, I have to, you know, just explain that. But if you saw me in person and I didn't have my big teaching lights on, that wouldn't happen. So, and again, look, I've wasted a bit of paint here. I just don't like to waste, so I usually do a really big production line. Now, these have to dry. So in true Dylusionists fashion, here's some I prepared earlier. So my next step that I would do on here is to shape them. Once you've shaped one tag, you can use it to shape the others, but this is how I do it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these and put them back to back. And then I am going to cut off one corner, quite a deep corner because it's a chunky tag. So I've cut off one corner of both of them, okay? And then what you do is you turn one of the corners round. So you turn one of the tags round, you put it on the top, and you trim that corner to match. You turn it over and you trim that corner to match. Okay, and then you use the same tag to trim all your other tags. You can trim 2 at a time, but I wouldn't trim any more than 2. Okay, and I always use the same tag, but again, it doesn't really matter because there's only one going on a present. Nobody is going to compare. Nobody's going to say, oh, can I just look at the corners on your tag? Okay, so that will be the next thing I did. So I will do them to these as well. And then I doodle. Okay, so these are some leftover from before. So I just roughly doodle. I'm never very precise. It's entirely up to you. A lot of this will be covered up as well. So, but I mean, they look nice on their own anyway. This is Balmy Nights with the Jolly Holly. Ba-da-da-da. I just think when it gets to this time in December and you're making tags, you want to make a lot quite quickly, really. So I don't spend a ton of time. Just a little tip with the holly. Where the berries are, that's where the stems would go. So if you are putting little stems in your holly, look for where the berries are and go from there. So if you find the berries, go from there. And if there isn't any berries, sort of like here, it goes the opposite way. So here, it'll go that way. Doesn't really matter. You can make it up, but there's just a little tip. So then I would have one session doing this. So I would maybe have 40 tags that I will just sit and do this with. If you make one tag, it'll probably take you ages, but if you make tons of tags, it doesn't take that much longer and you get them all finished at the same time. I tend to make more tags for people than cards. I don't know. In my family, it was always a tradition that on at least one of the parcels, you actually put a Christmas decoration, and the rest you just put tags. So here we are. These are my tags. They're nice with black as well, on a black, you know, my black number 12 tags. So this one, I do really bad diamonds. And if you notice, I do opposites. I just spin the tag. I just find it easier to do that and spin the tag. So these down here. And do I normally go as fast and as messy as this? Yes, I do. You might want to see what you stick on it first before you doodle, but I just get in the swing and just get them all doodled. So I'm just going to do probably one more because you get the idea. That's not Balmy Nights, actually. I'm sorry, I'm lying. That is Calypso Teal. Sorry about that. I was telling some little porkies. This one here is Balmy Nights. I always use a thin pen when I'm doodling. This is a uni pen and it's a 0.3. Similar pens are microns, ranges, oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name. Letter It pens, I like those as well. They're good. You just want a very fine pen. And as I say, you can be really neat. Some people would probably gasp if they saw mine, but you know, I'm a big girl, I can take it. Right, one more. Usually helps if you have a couple of Baileys and some Christmas carols on. When I was doing these earlier, I was, as usual, listening to my talking book. That's what I do. I do everything by listening to my talking book. But obviously, for a video, I was going to do like a, I don't know what you call it, a little video where we just sped everything up. And then I thought, do you know what? I haven't booked anybody all day. I'll talk to you all. So it's not a long video, but it just gives you an idea. Okay. So we'll just finish this one off. But as I say, normally I would have tons of them. I just find it's just, I don't know, I suppose with my ADHD, I like to do something and then I'm fed up, so I like to do something else. And then I get fed up, so I do something else. So it just, a production line really works for me. But it might not work for you, and you have to do what's good for you. up here. If you chose the bigger stencil, you wouldn't have as much doodling to do, but I do like this small stencil. So anyway, oh, do you know, I'm just going to have to do this one. I can't believe it, can I? Da, 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 da. Somebody will go, oh, you're too late. I've done all my wrapping already. Some people are just so organised, aren't they? Luckily, I'm organised this year, because normally I'm not home. You know, when I was travelling, sometimes I wouldn't get home till the 21st, and then I used to have to do a class up at Art from the Heart and do it, and then find my presents. Emmy's brill. Emmy would always help me wrap. But this year I am organised, and I'm starting my wrapping. I've got most of the things. Maybe I just buy less. I have noticed, you know, since I'm home, I don't feel as guilty. When I was away all the time, I felt really guilty. So I used to really splurge and buy a lot, but I don't as much now. So these were the ones we did earlier. And these were just prepared. And so for speed, what I really like, in my new collage sheets, you actually have, let me see if I've got to set down here open. No, I haven't. Oh, here. That's how I can do it. In here, oh, look, I've cut something off. In here, we have these. Okay, well, obviously these are too large for tags, but everything that you have large, you also have small. There we go. So you get 8 there, so you can do 8 tags, and we've also got the small words. Okay, I have about 5 packs open at a time because I do that much, but I have these, and these are perfect for the tags. Okay, so we'll stick that on that. So I use glue stick. Oh, I'll tell you what would be quite good for this actually as well. A tape runner is quite good. If you're doing a one that you're going to give away, you don't actually want to drop it off. You don't know if they're going to put the present in a really warm room. So if you take like a tape runner, this one is from scrapbook.com, but if you take a tape runner and add that first, if the warmth of the room melts the glue stick, that tape will secure it. So you can see you can go quite speedy. When you're doing a lot, you're not as fussed as you thought you might be. So you tend to just pick any of them up. Oh, I forgot the tape on that. Never mind. You watch. This will go to somebody with a... Oh, I put the same one on. Never mind. Let's have... we'll go for this one. This one sort of has a bit missing. So what I tend to do with this one is I look in here for a tree. And there's a tree. There's a tree. So there's 2 different sizes. So what I could do is I could stick that there, and I can either put the little one like that, or I can put a big one. I'm going to put the little one. So I'm going to glue that on. I mean, it could go on just on its own, but it is rather nice with this on it. I am speeding because I don't want this to be a video that you're like, oh, that took forever. I just want to show you how quick you can be with these. Imagine doing 40. They don't, once you get going, they don't take a lot of time. Oh, sorry. Keep cleaning this. I think I headbutted the camera there. Keep cleaning this because you don't want your things to stick to it. You know, the top of the collage to stick onto there at all. So you can see when I said a lot of this doodling will be covered up. That's up to you whether you doodle before or after. I find it harder to doodle half bits than it is to do the whole thing. So you can see we've got 5 there. Now you can, if you want to, faff around. So you can see here I've got the little birdhouse, I've put the little gnome, another little gnome tree. You can do that, but for speed, these are brilliant to put on. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the lid on my glue. I normally outline them all. So if it's got the big bump, little bump, you have to go around going big bump, little bump, big bump, little bump, big bump, little bump, big bump. I just do it in my head, I can't help. And again, I'm not very neat. If you want to be neat, you can. And these images were full-size journal pages, and I shrunk them down. So they were shrunk about 70%, I think, and then they were shrunk 50% down from that. So these are easier because you can just run it through. Oops. I'm just going to do one more because it's the same on all of them. So again, on this one, come around here. And then I am going to outline this extra star. They're just going to be nice and simple, okay? And then I would outline those as well. And that's the fronts done, apart from if you buy a tag, it has the reinforcers on, okay? We're going to make our own reinforcers. So I'm going to use one of the background sheets here. And I'm going to use this little, it's a 3/4 of an inch hole punch, okay? And I need 5, so I'm just going to put it upside down just to check. And I'm just going to punch, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those out, okay? And then turn them upside down. We get the glue stick. And I glue them like that, upside down. Just stick them on the top, somewhere where you think the reinforcer would go. Got a big blob of glue on that one. Okay, it's probably in a different place on all of them. It doesn't matter. And then what you do, either with, you can use like a crocodile. You would just put your crocodile in the centre and then you make, is that in? Yes. You make your own reinforcer. Oops. If you haven't got something like this in hole punch, I also have my Japanese one. Oh, I've only got a small in. I'll do it to show you, but I've only got the small in there. And you just press down. Oops, it didn't do it. Maybe it's full. There we go. You can use those because I have a larger head for that, but I need it to be a bit larger. So I'm going to go in. I think most people have got crocodiles, haven't they? Okay, so we made some holes there, and then I am going to outline. I'm going to reinforce the reinforcer to make it stand out. You could put one on the back as well if you wanted. I don't. I can't be bothered with the back. There's enough going on the front. Okay, so that's the front done. Then on the back, I'm going to write as well, but I quite like to put this. I do like to put this little Merry Christmas on. So I'm going to line it up with the bottom so it's straight. Archival ink. often ink on this bottom corner, like so. Is that a bit wobbly? Yes, there we go. Okay, so, and again, I'll stamp them all at the, do you see what I do? You know, we're only doing 5 here. I would probably have minimum 20 that I do, and they don't take long to do at all, especially if you do them in batches. Just when you're a bit bored, sit one day and cut them, and then another day you can fire up your production line. So that was on just bobbing along, sorry. And then what I like to do is, I like to do a bit of doodling, because it wouldn't be one of my tags and out doodling, would it? So I'm just going to put a bit of this stitching. If I had a lot more time, I would maybe use one of my stitch stamps that's got the rows of stitching. Oh, I can see a bit of glue on there. But I just go around like this. I just stop where they're at. You could go right round, but I quite often will just stop. And of course you can do this for any occasion, but it's Christmas, I'm going to do them for Christmas. I'm going to stop there. I'm just going to do one more because I wanted it to be a quick video that you could quickly get some inspiration from. But normally I would go around, I would do all of those. Okay, and then you can either leave them like that, or you can find all the words. So again, this is not like all my background things. You can see all the different words. Got happy, oh, presents, we'll have that one. Jolly, tinsel. Let's have, what's that one? Flurry. Where's Christmas? Have I used all the Christmas? Humbug, snowmen. Are any of these snowmen? There's a snowman. We can have snowman on there. Okay. So, again, you just don't know where they're going to store these presents. So, if you put a little bit of tape, and then you can just put a word up the side like that. So let's have tinsel. Oh, don't want it on there. I was like, hang on a minute, where's the doodling? It's because I've popped it over to this one side. And presents. Forgot the tape. You see, I'm not used to a tape gun yet. I am liking it though. Okay, and then glue out of the way. Optional, you could paint in the holly. Now I've got turquoise here and pink, so I'm going to do the leaves turquoise. But if you were using last Christmas ones, which were red and green, you could go more traditional. The collage last year was very traditional, apart from it had a lot of birds with hats on. And that's another thing you could do. You could have done your tags like that. You could also put my sarcastic quotes on, like quite fun. Would you like me to show you what to do with the stuffing? Just make sure that one doesn't go to your mother-in-law. I think I'm going to do funky fuchsia for the berries. And then outline. I do like to outline things. I know it takes you a few seconds more, but I just think it finishes things off. Just beware that you haven't got any extra glue. Ooh, hang on. A bit darkened. Just be aware you haven't got any glue around the edges. Oh, Rex is out there. Don't know if you heard him bark. Fighting off imaginary invaders, protecting us from all sorts. Okay, and then you've still got room to write, I don't know who this is to, but I put underneath, oh my love. Put for one of the grandkids, so Mama. So half of them call me Mama, half of them call me Grandma. So then I can put here, for example, say this is Edith. Edith, if I have more time, I could go back and I can do my fancy writing. But these, honestly, these just get thrown away. I don't know anybody who would really keep them or keep them after Christmas. You know, if you want people to sort of keep them, what you could do is write the date. So you could put here 2022. People, for some reason, people tend to keep things that have got dates on. And then the last thing to do is some string. So I do a combination of normal string, like so. But remember, these are going on presents, so don't cut them too short, else you're not going to be able to tie them on. And I just push the loop through, or do it in half, push the loop through, and then put the threads through the loop, like so. Or, this is my, I love this. This is Bridgewater, and you just fill it up. You just put a new roll of twine in, and cut your twine. Exactly the same. Push the loop through, push them through, and you have your tags. Okay, so those are the 5 that we've done today. And see, look, most of mine are on presents already, and they're all, see, they've all got them on the back. And they're lovely. Look at that. And then, as I said, these were ready-made tags, so they're thinner, so these don't fit on, so I'd just put something simple, the same. And again, I've got things on the back. But you can't fit the words. If you do a smaller ready-bought tag, you can't fit the words on the back. But these are lovely, whether they are this way or if they are this way. So give it a go. I will photograph these and put them on. I'll finish off all those that I started today that we haven't. But let's just see. And you saw how quick we made 5. So think how quick I can make 50. You just multiply it by 10. Brilliant. Okay. Enjoy. See you soon.